A young woman walks down a quiet alleyway and spots a well-dressed man struggling to load books into his Volkswagen Beetle. One of his arms is bound in a sling, making the task nearly impossible. She walks over to him to offer her help, but the moment she leans down to place the books on the passenger seat, he strikes her over the head with a tire iron. This is the Explainer Atlas. We are tracking how a cross-country serial killer successfully evaded law enforcement for years by weaponizing trust. This calculated deception was the signature of Ted Bundy. He didn't rely on impulsive violence. He built a polite, educated persona to lure his victims into a trap. Investigators struggled to identify him because he defied the standard profile of a violent offender. Bundy was a handsome, articulate law student with no criminal record. He also embedded himself within the systems meant to find him, working at the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Commission and the Department of Emergency Services. He wrote official papers on rape prevention and tracked missing persons cases, all while actively hunting the same women he was publicly tasked with protecting. This insider perspective on police procedures provided a layer of camouflage, allowing him to operate undetected during the first years of his spree. As the disappearances continued, witnesses consistently described a man with a VW bug and an arm sling who introduced himself as Ted. Even with these specifics and direct tips from his own girlfriend and a coworker, police dismissed him. Institutional bias favored clean-cut professionals, making it difficult for investigators to believe a law student was responsible. Bundy took advantage of this by moving his hunting grounds across state lines, traveling from Washington to Utah and into Colorado. Without a centralized interstate database, evidence gathered in one state remained hidden from investigators in another. Washington police eventually used an early computer system to cross-reference thousands of names. Out of that massive pool of data, they identified Bundy as one of only 26 people who matched the specific details of the crimes. But without a way to connect these results to murders in other states, the information went nowhere. This lack of communication allowed him to remain free even after he had been identified by a database. Bundy moved to the Salt Lake City area, continuing his evasion of the fragmented police net. His first capture was accidental, the result of a routine patrol stop after an officer noticed him driving suspiciously in a suburb. Inside his car, the officer found a ski mask, trash bags, handcuffs, a crowbar, and an ice pick. Despite finding these items, investigators only had enough physical evidence to charge him with kidnapping and assault. The murder charges remained out of reach. Even with the tools of a serial killer in custody, the legal system's lack of coordination meant the true scale of the threat was still legally unrecognized. Bundy used his law background to act as his own attorney, a move specifically designed to convince the court he should not be shackled during his appearances. During one appearance in Aspen, he leapt from a courthouse window and survived in the wilderness for 6 days before being recaptured. 6 months later, he managed to escape once again, using a smuggled hacksaw to break through his jail cell ceiling. He fled to Florida, where his methodology shifted. He abandoned his patient, elaborate traps in favor of unhinged, rapid-fire violence. The calculating killer had deteriorated into a desperate, frenzied attacker, striking multiple targets across a single city in one night. In Florida, he attacked 4 women at a sorority house and a young girl in Jacksonville within a matter of days. He was stopped once again by a patrol officer. During questioning, Bundy fought the man and tried to take his weapon before being tackled. The arresting officer had no idea he had just taken down one of the nation's most wanted fugitives. Realizing he would not escape again, Bundy told the officer he wished the man had killed him. He eventually confessed to 30 murders and was executed in the electric chair in 1989. Bundy's evasion exposed the dangers of jurisdictional isolation and led to the development of national criminal databases. His case forced law enforcement to look past a suspect's social standing and focus entirely on the physical evidence left behind.